friends. Welcome to Story Behind Podcast. This is the show for people who love hearing a good story and who believe the world could use more positivity. We're the team behind GodUpdates and GodTube, and we hope these weekly short stories will brighten your day.
A 90-year-old cancer survivor has saved over 10,000 animals, and she's still not slowing down. Written by Heather Riggleman, read by Julie Provost. A 90-year-old cancer survivor has saved over 10,000 animals, and she's still not slowing down. Barbie Keel doesn't wear a cape, but you'd swear she had wings tucked somewhere under her sweater. Out on a 12-acre patch of earth in Sussex, England, she rises every morning with the sun and a holy calling to tend to the meows, the whinies, the oinks, and the soft paws of the forgotten. For 54 years, Barbie has been running her namesake animal sanctuary with nothing but her hands, her heart, and a sacred stubbornness to never give up. "I'm not slowing down," she says, and shrugs with a twinkle in her 90-year-old eyes. "Some days I'm shattered, it's hard work, but then I get a little nose boop or a face peers up at me and I remember why I'm doing this. That nose boop, it's a love note from God in fern whiskers." Barbie has rescued over 10,000 animals since the 1970s when it all began with a single soldier's dog. A young man asked her to watch his pup while he was deployed. That pup never left, and neither did the call on Barbie's life. Soon after, the Bexo Cats Club reached out about some kittens, and before she could say no, she had 40 cats underfoot. And then came the goats, the pigs, the horses. Today, she cares for over 600 animals. Her sanctuary isn't just a shelter, it's a sacred place where God's forgotten creatures are seen, known, and healed. She's fought cancer 3 times. She gave up a long-term relationship when her partner asked her to choose between him and the animals. "My animals come first," she said simply, "and they always will." It's not easy, the work never ends, but Barbie doesn't take days off. Not really. She leaves the sanctuary only every few weeks for shopping or to play darts. And then she's right back to feeding, brushing, bandaging, and blessing. "I know I'm getting older, so I know my limitations," she said humbly. "I don't deal with the big animals anymore, but I still get up every morning to feed all the cats and see them all. It's a good life." And you believe her, because when someone lives, it's poured out. When someone gives everything to care for the overlooked and the voiceless, you can't help but see it. It's a life that smells like Jesus. The Barbie Keel Animal Sanctuary runs entirely on donations. It's a nonprofit tethered to heaven by Barbie's grit and kindness of others. It recently reopened to the public on Sundays until October 2025, welcoming visitors to the cafe, gift shop, and vivarium, and most importantly, to meet the animals who now know love. Barbie even uses her own pension money to buy bulk food and sell it cheaply to locals, so no one has to give up their pets. And maybe, just maybe, that's what makes her story so miraculous. Not just that she saved 10,000 animals, but she still believes, no matter her age, her aches, or her trials, that love is worth the cost. "I'm so grateful to my motley crew of volunteers. They keep everything running, and the generous public," she said. She's proof that sometimes the holiest work is feeding the furred and the feathered, that the gospel can be lived out in muddy boots and purring laps, because at the end of the day, it only takes a little nose boop to remind her and us that love always shows up. Proverbs 12:10. "The righteous care for the needs of the animals, but the kindest acts of the wicked are cruel." Mom finds hope after tragedy, hears her daughter's heartbeat in a child who got a second chance. Written by Heather Riggleman, read by Julie Provost. A mom finds hope after tragedy, hears her daughter's heartbeat in a child who got a second chance. Some stories aren't tidy. They come shattered, bloodied by what should have been, aching with what never will be again. Lisa Shreen knows that kind of story. Lisa's life changed forever on April 1st, 2022, when her 8-year-old daughter, Maddie, passed away after an ATV accident. In the throes of unimaginable grief, Lisa made a courageous decision. She chose to donate Maddie's organs, allowing her daughter's legacy of love to live on in others. And one of those lives was Miera Moody. Just months earlier, 4-year-old Miera had been diagnosed with left ventricular non-complication, LVNC, cardiomyopathy, a rare and serious heart condition. On January 25th, 2022, her tiny body began to fail. After 3 weeks of treatment, she was transferred to the Cleveland Clinic Children's Hospital. The only hope for her survival was a heart transplant. And then on April 2nd, just hours after Maddie's final heartbeat, God answered a mother's whispered surrender with a miracle that beat on. Mira's care team at the Cleveland Clinic gently delivered the news. A donor heart had been found, a perfect match, Maddie's heart. 2 days later, she underwent an 8-hour transplant surgery. What once was failing now flourished. Her recovery stunned the doctors, and Maddie's heart, still beating, still loving, still giving. And in the summer of 2024, grace brought the two families face to face. Mira, now 8, thought she would get to meet Maddie. Her child heart hadn't yet grasped the depth of sacrifice behind that gift. When she finally realized Maddie wouldn't be there, she did the only thing a child knows how to do when words won't work. She hugged Lisa tight. I wanted to run up to Mara, squeeze her, and never let her go, Lisa confessed, because that was all I had left of my girl. And Maddie does live on, her legacy beating steadily in 4 lives saved by organ donation. Mira is now a thriving 8-year-old full of energy and joy. Only God could orchestrate such a story, where heartbreak turns to hope, where a mother hears her daughter's heart beating once more. And in the end, love always finds a way to keep going, and sometimes it sounds just like the steady rhythm of a child's heartbeat. Psalm 34:18, "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit."
Thank you so much for listening to Story Behind Podcast. We're really glad you joined us for this week's story. To see photos and videos that may have been referenced in this episode, check out the links in the show notes. And if you enjoyed what you heard today, subscribe to our podcast, and please tell a friend about us. We'd also love it if you'd rate us and leave us a review. It really does help more people find us. Story Behind is a Salem Web Network production.
God kept calling my heart. Like, I just knew he was my safe place.
I hope people don't walk away going, wow, you're really awesome. More than like, wow, Jesus is really interesting and he's really awesome.
Everybody on this planet is dealing with some sort of what if.
How does that one courageous decision affect the whole world?
A ship in harbor is safe, but that's not what ships are built for.
If you were encouraged by what you just heard, please search Trevor Talks on your favorite podcast platform or lifeaudio.com.